Hello, my name is Brian Shannon, and today is Wednesday, August 8th, 2008. The live trade of the week this week is actually going to be a post mortem rather than a live trade. I was a little too busy to hit the record button today. Sometimes it can be distracting actually to hit the record and pause and that sort of thing. So instead, I'm going to show you a stock that I did trade today, a stock that I had made people aware of on my blog at alphatrends.net before it actually had its major move. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. The name of the company is Mind Ray Medical, and it's a Chinese-based company, symbol MR. For about a week and a half, I've been talking about the potential for some big plays based on the Olympics that begin on this Friday, August 8th, and just the psychology of all of the attention that the Olympics are going to bring, probably to a lot of the companies as well. You can see, I could imagine CNBC, Fox Business, Bloomberg, etc., doing pieces on companies that are based in China, whose stocks trade on our exchange, and one of those companies is MindRay, and I had also mentioned in that video a week and a half ago Chinamed. So Chinamed and MindRay, as you'll see here on my blog, let me blow this picture up. This morning I had posted this chart saying that Chinamed basically has had a couple big days, and it was up early this morning. And MindRay had not moved yet at the time. It was $40.27. So I was just showing here with a highlight that they're both involved in the manufacture and marketing of medical devices in China. And since one was going, it pays a lot of times it pays to look at other stocks in the group. It had a bullish uptrend, and more importantly, or maybe not more importantly, but as a bonus, there was a big short position in here. Now, this chart right here, this table rather, that I had put together comes from the Nasdaq.com, from their short interest. You can get the short interest data. And what I did was I added on the right-hand side my own column, which is VWAP, Volume Weighted Average Price. So what I wanted to see was, what's the average price that these short sellers were involved in the stock? You can take a look. Let me just blow this up. We can see it a little bit more clearly. You can see that as of January 31st, the stock had 707,000 shares short. Then on February 15th, that number jumped to 4.5 million shares. So the short sellers added approximately 3.8 million shares. Now, the price between January 31st and February 14th, the average price, the volume weighted average price, was about $35 a share. Then they added, or they subtracted a little bit at an average price of $35.48. So what I'm trying to determine here is approximately what price did the short sellers get involved with? Because if we know they're in a losing position, and this is something I wrote extensively about in my book, there's a full chapter regarding this, the full chapter for the volume weighted average price, and a full chapter for short squeezes. So what I said was, is there a short squeeze possibly developing here? So I went through it and said, the average price during this period when the short interest ratio, the number of short shares rose from 700,000 shares up to 7 million shares. The average price during that time was $34.69. The stock today at this point was trading at $40.60. So as it looks like, if I was short this stock, and we've got the Olympics coming up, if you got one of their main competitors running rapidly, that I would want to be covering this stock. And so let's go ahead and take a look at what did happen. So if we go back to the chart for MR, you can see that the first blog post that I had done on this, let's look at a 1 minute chart for the day, was done right about here. The second one was at $40.80 right here. This is where I said it looks like the shorts are really vulnerable here. And the stock, this is a 1 minute chart from today, the stock really started to ramp. So obviously when I see something like that, that's something I want to be involved in. So I'm just switching the screen here. Apologize for the interruption. So what I did was basically I got involved in the stock and I got involved in the option. Now here's my order book for this stock only. I bought 500 shares of MindRay at $39 $39.75, and then at 10:22 I bought another 1,000 shares at $40 a share. So let's go ahead and take a look at the stock. In other words, I bought 1,000 shares right here, or not right there. Let's take another look at that, at $40 a share. So $40 a share, I'd bought 1,000 shares right here after already buying 1,000 shares at what was it, $39.75. So as the stock started to rise, it looked to me like it was breaking past this level here, which is the daily VWAP. It got above there. That's when I initiated my position with 500 shares. It continued to move higher. I thought it had a good chance because of that short position to keep going. So I added 1,000 shares. So I'm averaging up in this position. Now at the same time, what I did is at 10:13, when the stock was at approximately, let's take a look right here. The time was 10:13. So right here, I had purchased 10 call options. These call options gave me the right but not the obligation to buy 1,000 shares at $40 on or before the 15th of this month. So they expire a week from Friday, and they were out of the money at the time, or just at the money basically. I paid $1.30 for those. You can see right here that at 10:13 I paid $1.30. So as the stock started rising, because I had 1,500 shares, which for this account that I'm in was pretty heavy for the account, what I always like to do is sell into strength. So I sold 500 shares at $40.25. I sold another, let's see, so 40.25. I sold right about here on the way up, and then I sold another 500 shares at, sorry for going back and forth here, at $40.59. So $40.59. I had sold basically right there into strength. So at this point, I was only long 500 shares. So here's the P&L at that point. So I had sold 500 shares at $40.75, taking a $175 profit. I sold 500 at $40.60. That was $345. Sold 200 at $41.20, $258. 150. So I'm scaling out of it. I held 75 shares up to $42.75. So my highest sale was right up around $42.75. Where is that? Right about here. So that's about $42.75. That was my highest sale in the common stock. And you can see that was almost $1 below the low for the day. And when I look back on my trades and say, what could I have done differently, I tend to exit my winners a little too quickly. Part of that is because of the market that we're in, but that's probably my biggest problem in the market. But at the same time, it's also helped me quite a bit over the years because I don't hold on to these stocks hoping that they're going to come back. So on 1,500 shares, and I should have said 1,000 shares right here. I made basically $1,500, and you can see the last sale was 75 shares at 2:23 in the afternoon. So from 10 o'clock to 2:23, that's 4.5 hours. As far as the options go, I bought 10 of them at $1.30, and I sold 5 of them at $2.45. I sold 2 more at $3.80, recognizing a $500 profit, and I'm still long 3 of those call options, and the bid today at the close was $4.30. And I just paused it again to change my screen, but you can see here that this is actually the 1-day chart, 1 minute per bar in here, and I'm still long 3 at an average price of $1.30. You can see they closed at $4.50. The closing bid was $4.30. So on a daily time frame, I bought them right here at $1.30, sold some at $2.35, right around here, sold some at $3.80, which is right around here, and I've still got 3 of them. So I'm going to hold those because there's still a big short position in this stock. Really, if you look at the weekly time frame, it looks like it broke past this level, which you could look at as an inverted cup and handle with that big short position in there. You got to be looking at this and saying, as of July 15th, there were 6.2 million shares short this stock who had not yet covered. The average price that they're short approximately is about $36 a share. So they're out about $8. This stock could still have a massive rally from here before the Olympics actually begin. Most likely I'll get out of those call options tomorrow, maybe on Friday, but I'm going to try and trade back into this stock. But it certainly continues to be a very, very strong stock, and it made for a nice day in this account with 2 grand in the options and 1,500 in the stock. And there's a lot more of these Chinese-based companies that still look like they're poised for further upside. And on my blog, what I did today, this afternoon, was to talk about if I was a lazy American reporter in Beijing looking to do a business story about a tech company, here's the one I would look at. So go ahead and take a look at my blog at alphatrends.net, and hopefully this trend continues. Also, I've got a video that I had done that outlines about a dozen of these Chinese stocks that have the potential to move based on the perception that they're good companies, or just basically based on the hype of the Olympics. Remember though, good traders anticipate the news and sell into it when it comes out. A lot of these companies, who knows if you can trust what they say as far as their earnings and revenue and that sort of thing. I haven't checked the dates for any of these earnings reports either, and we're talking about hype surrounding an event. These are risky stock plays, so trade accordingly, keep your share size under control, and manage risk all the time.